Yeah, I'm still in our demons now. Demons down. I'm still in our demons now. Demons down.
Tell me your name.
Kathy Holden.
Okay, and now, did you foster kids?
Yes, I had 4 foster children.
Right. And so...
many years ago. We got the first one in 64, 65, right around 65, I think, January 65, because he was 4 years old.
And what inspired you to do that?
His older brother was with my mother-in-law at the time, and he wasn't. He was in a foster home at first over in Greenland, and he didn't like it. He ran away. He wanted to go to see Nanny. So they brought him over and plonked him down at my mother-in-law's. So then my husband and I at the time applied to bring his brother home, because then they'd be neighbors right next door. And so they gave him to us, but my husband had to finish military service first, because that was back in the 60s. And so he finished his military service and we got him home. And he got to go to school with his brother. And then eventually, a few years later, we got his brother too, because the older people got too sick to take care of them and stuff. So we had both of them. By the time they were in the 2nd and 3rd grades, we had both boys together.
Right.
And then we bought a house, rented, and then we bought a house, and probably, I'm not sure the years, but the daughter was 1.5 years, and the son was 2.5, 3.5. He was 3.5, she was 1.5. When the mother took her welfare check, flew him to Florida, and left him in the police station, and said, "I'll be back, I'm going to look for a job." Well, she never showed back up. And they were brother and sister, different fathers, but brother and sister to the 2 boys we had. So they called us and asked us if we wanted to take them. Well, it was a big decision, because I would have to quit work. I was working part-time. I would have to quit work and stay home with them. But we did it. Yeah. So we had the 4 of them for a long, long time.
Wow. How long did you have them?
Probably... Well, my husband and I separated in the 70s. The boys, the youngest, the 2 older boys were 14 and 15. And they went to stay with him because they could pick, and he didn't make them go to school and all that jazz. So they thought it was going to be more fun over there. But I kept the others, and then when I remarried a few years later, they came to live with us.
Yeah.
And stayed with us. The girl went down to stay with my ex-husband and never came back, but she was 17 at the time. And they, again, all they wanted her down there for was babysit their younger kids. But that was her choice at that point. And Norman, the youngest boy, but the older than Marie, came back and stayed with us, graduated from high school, packed up his car, went to college in Phoenix, and he's out in San Diego now.
And doing well? Doing
well. He's a computer consultant. Goes in big companies and fixes their computers.
Did you ever actually adopt them? Or
No.
They were fostered?
Yeah.
So when they aged out, what was that like?
It wasn't bad. I just had the 2 youngest ones. And by that time, I had remarried, had a full-time job. They were in high school, and so we could afford it. It wasn't something that we were looking for money and all that. So Norman stayed. We helped him with his college, and Marie, we didn't have a lot to do with as far as financial after she left to go down to Mass with my ex-husband, but she's in Florida right now, working and helping her significant other to remodel houses.
Yeah.
She's not doing too bad.
Yeah.
She has had her bad times, but when, the times when you know they're not telling you the whole truth, but they tell you what you want to hear when they're 40 years old.
Yeah, yeah. What do these kids need?
At that time, they need a stable home. They need someplace stable where they know that tonight I'm going home there, and tomorrow morning I'm going to wake up there, and I'm going to have food on the table, and I'm going to go to school and make friends at the same school and not be twist-trusted all around the place. Because I think that's one of the things. I have a friend who just had a foster son. She had him for many years, like when he was little, maybe I want to say 3 or 4 years, something like that. Then the mother signed him over for adoption. He came available for adoption. Patty wanted to adopt him. And they said no because she was a single parent. Well, I don't know if that's the whole reason, but part of the reason was so they sent him to a family that had other children and 2 parents and stuff. Now, I don't know the whole story, but he's back with Patty.
Yeah.
And she's going to have the opportunity to adopt him.
Yeah.
And he's 12 years old, and he is the nicest little boy you would ever want to think, but he does have trust issues and all that because he's been bounced around so much.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the biggest things, is they bounce around. And there's another couple in town that had foster children, and they ended up with the girl permanently and adopted her, and she's a teenager now, but she was little. She used to come around.
Yeah.
So
the kids, when they aged out with you, they really had a place that they could come afterwards.
Yeah. Norman's been home. He comes home, and he hasn't been here this year because he was in a job. He was doing a consulting job for Coca-Cola and was setting up a whole new network thing, and it wasn't at a point he could leave it. And he won't come out here in the winter.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I ain't coming out when there's any snow, he says.
Oh, yeah.
But otherwise, we email back and forth and talk on the phone once in a while.
Yeah.
So, yeah, his birthday's same time as Larry's, a couple of days before Larry, so.
Yeah. So one of the things that the Orange Duffel Bag does is they give the kids an Orange Duffel Bag when they age out, when they graduate from the program, with a computer, a Mac computer, a cell phone with time on it, toothbrush, toothpaste.
Oh, wow, that would be so
socks.
neat, especially if they didn't have a family to do that.
Some of them don't.
Yeah, I know they don't. Yeah.
These kids, 80% of them go homeless within the first 6 months of aging out.
Yeah. And to them, it's probably, they don't think it's any big deal because most of them been shifted around so much.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the biggest things is they need stability.
Yeah.
And they don't get it.
What would you put in an Orange Duffel Bag if you could put 5 things in for a kid?
5 things? A phone number for them to reach to talk to somebody if they needed to. A phone number for help if they needed it. Maybe not monetary, but support, so they can have some support. Information on how to better yourself in the country, how to do things, what programs are available, that kind of stuff, so that they could help themselves rather than just give up. So they'd be encouraged. And I think you did it. Computer, that's necessary nowadays.
Yeah.
And they learn how to use it in school. I mean, they got them in the 2nd grade.
Yeah.
But I think the most important thing is a lifeline to somebody or someplace where somebody cares.
Yeah.
even if they're out on their own and they can't afford to support them, they need somebody to be a lifeline. They can call up and say, I don't have any food, or I'm starving, or I'm cold, and whatever. Maybe they can't help a lot, but they might be able to give them a floor to sleep on, better than the street.
Yeah.
So I think that's the important thing, is that they have some way to contact somebody to show that there's a support, no matter what happens, there's a support for them.